Relationships are healthy. The relationships in the body are great. God's people have done tremendous work in my life. They've spoken the truth in love. They've been there on the dark days. They've been there when I've been a mess. Not to judge me and condemn me. There's been a few of those. But the great ones are the ones who've just come and sat and helped pick up the pieces with me. You know? A good friend like Keith has 2 handkerchiefs. One for himself and one for me. You know? We want to be those kind of people, don't we? Relationships are powerful. And I want to tell you, we serve a God who created it all. And the devastation that we see all around us in the world, and sadly, to some extent in the church as well, can all be traced back to this issue. And here we are in the Garden of Eden, the most perfect place. And we have the issue, don't we? We have man standing there going, not your will, mine. And that's what they did, isn't it? You can have anything except that. Well, guess what? I don't want everything else. I only want that. We still see it in our children sometimes, don't we? Don't touch that. That's the only thing that's interesting now. Not your will, mine be done. And we're coming up to Easter. And there we see who the Bible calls Jesus the second Adam, standing in a second garden and saying, not my will, but yours be done. Undoing the damage, making up for our mistakes, coming to redeem mankind, and coming to restore a relationship with God which we have through Him, where He has set the priority. Not mine, yours. What a change, what a turnaround. See, I believe our faith isn't just about believing in Christ or believing that the Bible's real. I believe that our faith must result in having a transforming relationship with God. It's so important, because if not, it is just religion. If not, it is just that weird thing your neighbours think you do on Sundays. You know, it is really the thing that your workmates don't understand about where you give your money and where you spend your time and why you aren't arriving at work on Monday with a sore head. No, what is it that makes us different? What is it that changes us? It's not just trying harder. You know, it's one of the things we do at the beginning of a year, isn't it? Thinking, this year's going to be different. This year's going to be different. But you know, trying harder isn't always the answer. Often we're trying harder in the wrong things. Perhaps we need to have a transformation. And I'm trusting that as great a church as this is, your name will represent more than just a change of logo and letterhead. But there'll be a year of transformation as well. It will indicate something much greater has happened and is happening in the life of this fellowship. If we don't have a transforming relationship with God, if you're not different because you know Jesus, do you really know Him? I'm not different today than I was those years ago because I got better, because I got older, because I married a brilliant woman. That helped. I am different today because of my relationship with Jesus. And walking with Him and sharing with Him has transformed my life. Otherwise, folks, it's just religion. You can call it anything you like, but if there's no transformation, there's no life, there's no power, there's no reality. And we can just argue with the church down the road or the person at work or about philosophy. Show me the difference your beliefs make. One thing I have learned, sadly, is that believing that God exists or knowing about God or even going to church won't necessarily transform your life. Sad, isn't it? You see, it's not just enough to believe that God exists. I mean, even Satan believes God exists. It doesn't do him an awful lot of good. Lots of people believe God exists. And in countries like ours, when they take surveys, huge percentages of people say they believe in God. It just doesn't change anything about them. Knowing about God won't necessarily change anything about a person. And sadly, not even going to church. How many of us try so hard to get our friends to come to church? It's a great place to be. It's better than a lot of other places they could be. But coming to church in itself is not the answer. A relationship with Jesus is what transforms. I told you it wouldn't be deep. It's a very simple message, isn't it? You heard it in Sunday school. It hasn't changed. It doesn't change because it's true. It doesn't change because it works. It doesn't change because no one's come up with anything better. And I'm sorry if you've spent time avoiding it, because some of us do. I'll come, I'll read a bit, I'll attend to certain things, I'll dress for Sunday, I'll do all that sort of stuff, but I don't wish to change. I don't want to be transformed. That's really sad. And I want to tell you that that's not enough for the Lord. Let me just illustrate from John chapter 14 and verse 9. In the lead up to this verse, the disciples have been asking Jesus questions and things, and in John 14 and verse 9, Jesus replies, at a little bit of frustration if you're like me and reading the Bible as real people. Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and yet you still don't know who I am? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. So why are you asking me to show him to you? See, I think it even gets to him sometimes. How is it you can be that close? How is it that you can be in the middle of the flock? How is it that you can be in the middle of the Word? How is it that you can be in all the trappings and not be transformed and not know the Christ of the Bible, not know Jesus of the table, not know the one we sang about so well? It's possible to be with him or near him. It seems that even being close for that long is no guarantee. And if I had time, we might even talk about Judas. But let's not go there today. Friendships are really important. I don't know if you heard it on the radio as I did, but just last week or two, they had a 104-year-old lady just talking about her age. And they had a little interview, and they asked her, what's the best thing about being 104? That's a reasonable question. Not many of us could answer it. No peer pressure. I thought, I want to keep my sense of humor as long as I live. Oh. Isn't that fantastic? It's true. And I don't know how many times over the years I've read or heard the quote, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's a really common one. It's one of the sort of things parents say to kids. It's one of the many things that parents say to kids because we have a bit of fear about the future, and so we keep them on, we seek to keep them in a tight rein. In fact, we should make them all drummers, because you keep them in a little box over here. It's really, you think getting off the board's hard. I thought getting out of the team must be really tough as well. The point being that friendships are powerful relationships. That's why we tell our kids to be careful about who they choose. And as we get older, if you've got someone smart in your life, they'll be telling you, be careful who you allow speak into your life. You know, opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one. If you're like me, you've got a big one. But everybody's got one. Everybody's got an opinion about you, your life, your looks, your job, your career, your kids, your house, your car. Everybody's got an opinion. But not all opinions matter. And you need to be careful who you let speak into your life. This is what relationships are really powerful, one of the reasons they are. It seems to me that from the beginning to the end, God has been offering the kind of relationship most of us spend our lifetime looking for. We look for it in other people. We look for it in the opposite sex. We look for it in our parents. We look for it in the church. But God has been offering it.